evening everybody, I am back. I don't know how long I'm going to last on this video, but I'm back. If I start a coughing fit, I will just end the video. So, it's been a long week, hasn't it? I've really missed doing my videos, but I just haven't been in a position to do them. Even trying to talk, you just go into a coughing fit, which I just couldn't stop, and then getting myself out of breath. So, I am back, and hopefully just ease my way back in over the next few days. So, what an interesting day. I mean, I've done the videos over the last few days as best as I could, playing with the graphics and putting the information out there, and it's been actually quite interesting. The viewing hours have took a battering, of course, and the views have took a bit of a battering, but I expected that, to be fair. If you're not putting the videos out there in the normal standard that you do, then you're going to suffer as a result. But health has to come first. Right, so let's have a look at the winners, the places, the near misses and the losers today. And we'll start with the losers. 4:30 at Lingfield. Now these are all the 4-step system ones, these, and it'll help me explain things a little bit better. Under the Sun. Now it come last. Wasn't expecting it to come last because it also got a rating under the back form system of 44. So I was quite shocked at its poor performance. Now its 4-step rating was 75 points ahead of its nearest rival. Now that's not a massive amount, and I would prefer it always to be above 100. Just how I set the system up. It should be really over at least 100. The higher the figure, the better for me the chance, and I'll prove that later on. So under some 75 points, it would have needed to be 150 to 200 to get anywhere near doing what it is. So very poor performance from Under the Sun. I'm not even going to say that's one to note. It certainly isn't at the moment. And I'll always be honest with you. I'll always be straight talking. I don't hold anything back. Don't sugarcoat things. It was poor. Very, very poor. Right, now here's one. Londoner. Now in the 425 at Newcastle, Londoner was a big fan. Now I don't like backing small prices, you know I don't, because of what I recommend with your small stakes. There's no point in putting small stakes on 6-4s and 2-1s, but I did them. I did them because it just fit into the patents. I thought, right, I've got a couple today, small prices, put them in with a couple of the bigger prices, you know, who knows. Londoner, third at 2-1. You know, realistically, I mean, it was 162 points ahead of its nearest rival, which is a good point total, clear of its nearest. So, yeah, I've got to be disappointed with that one. I think that was very poor. I'm not even going to say that's one to note because certainly very much off the boil today. Mr. Van Gogh was the other one, which was a small price, and 64.90 with 2-1 or whatever it was. Pulled up. Well fancied, you know, but I really don't like these low prices. I don't, but like I say, I did them because it worked the narrative with the patents today. If you could have a medium price, big price, and a small price, who knows how it would work. If it come in, it wouldn't be bad, would it? But it was terrible. So Londoner and Mr. Van Gogh, very, very poor today. But then let's look at some of the outsiders that have lost today, but what I would call near misses. Oh, well, actually, no, I've still got a couple to go here. Marteta. Now, Marteta at Sandown 202 was 333 points clear of its nearest rival. So realistically, you would have expected a big run from Martin. It wasn't a bad price. It's about 10-1, 11-1. So it was quite well. It wasn't well fancy, but it wasn't a big outsider, was it? Just rubbish, really. Absolutely. It unseated. I mean, actually, it wasn't doing too bad at one point, and then for some reason, come the 9th fence, I think it was. Yeah, the 9th fence just decided to completely spread eagle itself and throw the jockey off. You know, it happens, doesn't it, in horse racing? Just when you think something's going well and you think, hey, this might not be bad here, it goes and does that. But there you go. Right, now looking at the near misses. Big outsiders, near misses. Empire Steel. What a good run from Empire Steel. Now that was 80 points above its knee, so it's creeping towards that 100 mark that I like with this system. And definitely one to note, Empire Steel, 4th, 33 to 1. Certainly not disgraced by any means whatsoever. And I think that could run a big race if it comes out. Again, remember, we're getting very near to the end of the national hunt season. Will it run between now and March? Who knows? Certainly want to put in your tracker Empire Steel today, 4th at 33 to 1. A near miss on a place. Book of Life, 4th at 9 to 1. Bit frustrating because that was one of my big fancies for the day. 127 points ahead of its nearest rival. Really thought would make a guaranteed frame, that one. So just missing out on that frame. And it cost me like an each-way treble on a patent. But I got the double up anyway, which I'll cover in a minute. But yeah, certainly not so great. And I think definitely one to note. Book of Life. I think you've got to say anything that's sort of finishing 4th in a 9 or 10 horse race has got to be considered as one to note in your tracker. And it certainly didn't disgrace itself, did it? Ravenscraig Castle, 5th, 17 to 2. I think another one to note, 178 points ahead of its nearest challenger on the points calculations. I like Ravenscraig Castle. I always have done it. And it's something about the name as well. I think it was one. It's something I backed once, and it won. And I think you remember these things, don't you? So that's one to note as well. Ravenscraig Castle, 5th, 17 to 2. Again, not disgraced. Certainly not too far out of the placings there. And then let's move on to the two really good performers today. The two actual, what I would class as the big markers. Yes, Martata was one, but of course that was in the national hunt. But the two biggest differences on the flat, well, let's look at the first one. Let's look at the highest today. Now, I put this morning, when I saw the price of it, it was 9 to 2, I think, on Ladbrokes and Corals. I think it was 4 to 1 on Sky Bet. It was 8.4 to 1 on the exchanges. So I put £1 on it, and I got £8.40 back. Atomic Force in the 355. Won by a neck. 581 points. Now this is where the magic comes in. The 581 points. That's a big points margin. And I think it ran a good race today. And 8.4 to 1 was way above what it, for me. I mean, Betfair, that's the fair price, the exchanges. I don't think it should have been as high as that, but I'm not mourning because that was a nice return. And of course, I had it in an each-way patent as well with Cool Hoof Luke and Book of Life, which of course I said Book of Life let us down for the each-way treble, but I still got the double up anyway. And then Cool Hoof Luke, that's a mouthful, isn't it? 284 points. It's another big margin, and that was a very creditable third at 12 to 1. Now, I didn't get 12 to 1 for it because I put it on last night. The patent, I got 9 to 2 with Sky Bet, so I really punished myself there, didn't I? But I did have it on the Betfair as well. I think I was 7 or 8 to 1 for that. I did it in an each way double with Atomic Force as well. So, I mean, I can tell you now, I put on, I don't know, I think I'm about £7.50 up today. So for me, happy with that. That pulls back one of the days and a bit more of what we've had, very frustrating recently. But overall, one winner in Atomic Force, a good place with Cool Hoof Luke. A couple of near misses with Empire Steel and Ravenscraig Castle and Book of Life. And then some very poor performances from Londoner and Mr. Van Gogh, which were expected really to win. I'd have to say, not a bad day, not a great day, nothing to get right home about or go celebrate or go and treat yourself to a takeaway with because they haven't made enough. But some of you might have done. You know, when I put £1 on, some of you putting £10s and £15 on, even though I push for small stakes. You put what you like on, it's your money. I just put the horses out there, don't I? Throw them into the ring and hope that you'll back them. And you'll back them what you feel comfortable backing them with. So if you feel comfortable, if your stakes are a tenner per horse, then that's what you're going to put on, regardless, aren't you, if you back it. I've never been that type of gambler. Good God, if I put a £5 on, I'd be pacing the floor. I really would. It's just, to me, I like the fun of the sport, I like the enjoyment of the sport, and if I can make a couple of coppers, then happy days. But I know a lot of you like to make a few £100 here and £1,000 there, and I know some of you have over the months. Anyway, it's great to be back. I'd love to take this opportunity to thank everybody, and I mean everybody, and there's been hundreds of you sent me good get well wishes on a speedy recovery, and it's not the same, the videos is not listening to you talk, and I get that. I've tried to make them as interesting as possible, and I think they've been quite detailed because I've listed what the long shot system means and what the back form system truly means and what the 4-step system means, and I think that is being incorporated in the talking videos from now on, so it gives you the full picture of why I do what I do and why I pick the type of horses that I do in particular races. And at that point I am going. Thanks for watching my first show back for I think 5 days on Teesside Ste&Dee, the horse racing enthusiast.